Imagine for a moment a shadow, not a physical shadow, but something that lives inside you, something that whispers fears, holds you back, and makes you repeat pains you don't even understand. This shadow has a name, and it's connected to the person who gave you life. It hurts, I know. It's uncomfortable. It's the kind of truth we try to hide, to sweep under the rug of the soul. But as long as this shadow rules, true healing will remain a distant whisper. Have you ever felt trapped in cycles you can't break, attracting the same kinds of relationships, reacting in ways that scare you, seeking approval that never feels enough? If so, take a deep breath. You're not alone. And the key to this emotional prison may be found in a place you least expect, your most fundamental relationship, the one with your mother. But not in the simple way you might imagine. This video won't be easy. It will touch on sensitive points, old wounds you may not have even known were still open. But it's necessary, because to heal, we first need to understand. And to understand certain deep pains, we need to look at their origin. In Carl Jung's depth psychology, there's a powerful and often misunderstood concept, the negative maternal complex. This isn't about blaming your mother, far from it. It's about understanding how your experience with the maternal figure, real or archetypal, shaped your unconscious, and continues to influence your adult life in ways you may not even notice. It's about the mother-child relationship and its lasting impact. It's about maternal wounds that become part of your own psyche. And the good news, as hard as it may seem, right now, is that emotional healing is possible. It's a journey of self-discovery, of facing the psychological shadow and rewriting your own story. This video is an invitation to that journey. Get ready to look inward. Get ready for transformation. Because the key to your healing is in your hands. Let's clear up something crucial from the start. When we talk about the negative maternal complex in Carl Jung's psychology, we're not primarily talking about your mother as a person. Yes, your real experience with her is fundamental and shapes this complex. But the complex itself is an internal psychic structure. It's a set of emotions, memories, beliefs, and behavior patterns formed around the maternal archetype. Think of the archetype as a universal way of experiencing motherhood, nurturing, safety, origin, but also its shadow side, abandonment, suffocation, fear, dependency. Your mother, as a human being, was the first channel for this archetypal energy. Depending on how your needs were met or unmet in childhood, how you felt seen or invisible, loved or rejected, this experience became internalized. The negative maternal complex forms when the predominant experience was pain, lack, or difficulty in this primary relationship. It's not about having a bad mother, but about how the mother-child dynamic was internalized by you, the child, and how that internalization continues to operate in the adult you've become. This internalization creates a lens through which you see the world and yourself. If your experience was of an absent mother, you might carry a deep sense of abandonment and struggle to trust that others will meet your needs. If your mother was critical, you may have a relentless inner voice constantly judging you. If she was overprotective, you might wrestle with feelings of suffocation and difficulty finding your own identity and independence. These are the maternal wounds that become part of your inner landscape. The negative maternal complex shows up in many ways in adult life. It can appear as difficulty forming healthy relationships, a tendency to seek partners who repeat the mother-child dynamic, a struggle with needing external approval, an inability to set clear boundaries, or a constant feeling of not being good enough. It's a cycle, a pattern that repeats, often unconsciously, keeping you trapped in past dynamics. It's a form of self-sabotage deeply rooted in your psyche. Do you relate to any of these situations? Do you feel like no matter how hard you try, you keep hitting the same emotional roadblocks? That feeling of being stuck, of repeating the story, is one of the clearest signs that the negative maternal complex is active in your unconscious. And the first and most painful truth is this: you cannot change the past. You can't go back in time and have your needs met the way you needed. That's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's the starting point for healing. Now let's dive into an even deeper and more uncomfortable point. Something mentioned in the original video transcript that resonates with Carl Jung's theory about unconscious patterns. Invisible loyalty. It sounds strange, doesn't it? How could you be loyal to something that hurt you? We're not talking about conscious loyalty, the kind you choose. This loyalty is rooted deep in your unconscious, a silent pact made in childhood, even before you had the words to name it. This pact whispers, "I won't be greater than you, mother. I won't be happier than you. I won't fully heal if you haven't healed." It may seem illogical to your adult mind, but to the child who internalized the mother's pain and limits, this loyalty is a distorted form of love and belonging. It's as if, deep down, you believe that by repeating her suffering, you keep her close. You don't abandon her in her pain. It's a tragic way of trying to validate her experience, of saying, "See, mother, I suffer too. You're not alone." This invisible loyalty shows up in insidious ways in your life. It may be why you self-sabotage, just as you're about to achieve great success. A part of you, unconsciously, believes that having a fuller or happier life than your mother would be a betrayal. It might explain why you choose partners who treat you similarly to how your mother treated you, repeating the dynamics of maternal wounds. It can also make it hard to accept happiness or allow things to go right, because pain and struggle feel more familiar, more loyal to your internal system. This dynamic isn't about hatred or resentment toward your mother. It's about an unconscious fidelity that chains you to her suffering, her frustrations, her limitations. And here's the cruelest part: this loyalty keeps you from living your own life. It traps you in a cycle of repetition where dysfunctional patterns continue from generation to generation. You repeat her fears, her way of loving or not loving, her difficulty setting boundaries, the need for approval she may have carried, the guilt, the sacrifice, the pain. And you do this without realizing it, calling fate what is actually the influence of your unresolved negative maternal complex. Breaking this invisible loyalty is one of the bravest things you can do. It's not an act against your mother, but an act in favor of your own life. It's quietly telling that unconscious part, "I see your pain, mother, and I honor it. But my path is different. My path leads to my own freedom and happiness." It's a process of grieving, of letting go of the unconscious hope that by suffering as she did, you will save her or make her happy. This is a childhood fantasy that must be dismantled so the adult can finally live fully. To truly heal the negative maternal complex, we need to dismantle the fantasy we've built around the maternal figure. This fantasy is not your real mother. It's an internal image, often polarized, either the perfect idealized mother or the demonized mother, blamed for all your suffering. Both images are distortions that keep you from seeing reality and, consequently, from freeing yourself. Carl Jung taught us that archetypes have both positive and negative poles, and our personal experience colors how we live these archetypes. In the case of the maternal complex, the fantasy arises from the difficulty of integrating these two poles, the nurturing mother and the failing mother. Your mother was a human being with her own pains, traumas, limitations, and complexities. She loved as best she could with the tools she had, and often those tools were insufficient. This doesn't erase the impact of maternal wounds, but places the experience in a more realistic perspective. Blaming. The external figure forever keeps you in the victim role, powerless to change your internal reality. Idealizing her stops you from seeing the flaws that contributed to your complex. Dismantling this fantasy is an act of courage and brutal honesty with yourself. It means accepting that your mother was neither a goddess nor a witch. She was a woman with her own story, often marked by her own inherited maternal wounds. She did the best she could within her context and emotional capacity. This understanding is not a free pass for her behavior, but a key to your own prison. By understanding her humanity, you begin to allow yourself to be human as well, with your own flaws and imperfections. This process of de-idealization and de-demonization allows you to separate the real person from the internalized archetype. The struggle is not against your mother, but against the shadow of the maternal archetype living inside you, setting rules, generating guilt, and limiting your potential. It's this shadow that needs integration, not the external person. And that integration only happens when you stop projecting the whole archetype onto your mother and start recognizing your own ability to nurture and to fail, to give safety and to feel fear. The reality is that you, as an adult, no longer need your mother the way you did as a child. The relentless search for approval, the haunting need for validation, the difficulty setting clear boundaries, all of these are echoes of the child who sought validation and safety outside, but didn't find it. Healing comes when you become the source of that validation and safety for yourself. It's a process of becoming your own inner good mother, nurturing the wounded parts of your psyche and offering yourself the love and acceptance you once sought elsewhere. The good news amid all this intensity is that emotional healing from the negative maternal complex is entirely possible. It's not an easy or quick process, but it's a path of deep personal transformation and self-discovery. The first step is bringing the unconscious into awareness. It's about shining light on those shadows, recognizing the patterns, identifying the invisible loyalty, and dismantling the fantasies. But what comes next? How do you move from understanding to real healing? The heart of healing lies in becoming your own good mother internally. The child who didn't have her emotional needs met, who felt abandoned, criticized, or suffocated, still lives inside you. That inner child needs to be seen, heard, and nurtured by the adult you are today. This means validating your experience. Your pain is real. Your maternal wounds are valid. For a long time, you may have minimized what you felt, been told you were exaggerating, or learned to stay silent to survive. The first act of self-compassion, recognizing the deep impact those experiences had on you. Allow yourself to feel the sadness, anger, and fear that were repressed. This validation's the opposite of the emotional self-abandonment you learned. Listening to your inner child. What did the child inside you need but didn't receive? Was it safety, validation, simply being seen and loved unconditionally? Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and try to connect with that vulnerable part of you. What would she say if she could speak freely? What does she still need from you, the adult? This inner dialogue is crucial to understanding the roots of your current patterns and unmet needs. Meeting your own needs. Emotional healing happens when you, as an adult, start giving yourself what was missing in childhood. This is essential self-care. If you needed safety, create a safe environment for yourself in adulthood by setting healthy boundaries in your relationships and work. If you needed validation, learn to validate your own feelings and achievements without relying on external approval. Practice self-compassion by accepting your imperfections. This builds your emotional independence. Breaking behavioral patterns, the negative maternal complex shows up in repetitive behaviors. Identify these patterns. Do you self-sabotage when things go well? Do you seek unavailable partners? Do you struggle to say no? Once you recognize the pattern, you gain the power to choose differently. Every small conscious choice to act outside the pattern is a powerful step toward healing and personal transformation. It's like rewriting the code installed in your unconscious. Seeking professional support. Healing the negative maternal complex can be intense and painful. Working with a therapist, especially one experienced in Jungian psychology or trauma-focused therapy, can provide the support and tools needed to navigate this process. Therapy offers a safe space to explore maternal wounds, process repressed emotions, and develop new ways of relating to yourself and the world. It's a valuable investment in your mental health and long-term well-being. Cultivating self-compassion, perhaps the most important pillar of healing. Self-compassion isn't self-pity. It's treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and patience you'd offer a dear friend who is suffering. It's recognizing that you did your best to survive your childhood circumstances and that your current struggles aren't your fault, but the result of unconscious patterns that can be changed. Practicing self-compassion daily, through meditation, positive affirmations, or simply speaking gently to yourself, is essential to healing your inner child and building an internal relationship of love and acceptance. Remember, emotional healing is not a destination but an ongoing journey. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. But with every step you take toward becoming your own good mother, every time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, every time you set a healthy boundary, you are rewriting your story and freeing yourself from the chains of the past. You are honoring yourself and, paradoxically, honoring the life you've been given by living it fully. We've reached the end of this intense journey. We've faced our shadows, confronted uncomfortable truths, and explored the deep impact the negative maternal complex has had on your life. We've seen that this isn't about blaming your mother, but about understanding how your experience with the maternal archetype was internalized and continues to operate in your unconscious. We talked about the invisible loyalty that keeps you tied to patterns of suffering and the need to dismantle. Fantasiesto, see reality clearly. But the final message isn't one of burden or judgment. It's one of immense potential and personal transformation. Your story doesn't have to be defined by your maternal wounds. The past can't be changed, but how it lives inside you can. And that change starts now, with your conscious decision to look within and take responsibility for your own emotional healing. You have the power to break the cycles, to silence the critical inner voice, to nurture your wounded inner child, and to build a relationship of self-compassion. With yourself, you can learn to set healthy boundaries, seek relationships that nourish rather than drain you, and live your life from a place of emotional independence and authenticity. To honor your mother in the deepest Jungian sense is not to repeat her pain. It's to take the life she gave you and multiply it. It's to transform the legacy of suffering into wisdom, strength, and self-knowledge. It's to live your life fully, with courage and purpose, breaking the patterns that no longer serve you, and building a different future for yourself, and if it applies for future generations. The healing journey is ongoing. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But every step you take toward becoming your own good mother, every act of self-care, every conscious choice to love and validate yourself is a revolutionary act. It's an act of emotional liberation, that brings you closer to your most authentic, fullest self. Don't wait any longer. Don't wait for someone else to save or heal. The key lies within you. Start today by facing your shadows with courage, listening to your inner child with compassion, and building the life you deserve to live. Because the greatest tribute you can pay to the one who brought you into this world is to live your life with all your strength and beauty. Transformation is waiting for you. Take the first step.